Hi, everyone. I'm Kim. And for the past 3 weeks, I've been very vocal and passionate about the war in Ukraine, as we've all known, all of us together. We have been fundraising to help refugees and people still stuck in the senseless war. With the help of our team, through all of us here, we have raised over 42,000 so that our team on the ground, which is Ola Dinh and her team, can personally hand out necessities to the refugees and ship in supplies to people still stuck in Ukraine. We just want to thank everyone who's donated to our cause, for their generosity. Every single dollar did help. And together, with everyone's help, we were able to raise that amount of money. Even though I know that that amount of money is just a very small portion for what people really need over there, but together it is a lot for us over here. This whole Zoom is to introduce our team over here in the US, to Ola Dinh, who is our team on the ground in Poland. Well, right now she's actually in United Kingdom, right, Am?
Yeah, I'm in London.
Yeah, she had to go back to work. She's been out for like over 3 weeks, but she still has a team on the ground in Poland doing, continuing her work. And if anyone has any questions of what's going on today, she can update us and how we can help further. But we want to build awareness to see what's going on. They still need a lot of help. They're still going through a war, and it's probably more traumatic now because there's probably more orphans. There's probably more refugees now than there was 3 weeks ago when we started. So first off, I would like to introduce everyone to Tony Jew and his lovely daughter, Victoria. He is the CEO of Venetian Nail Spa. And of course, we have Victor, the creative director, and he knows everyone and everybody in Bolsa and around the world, who actually referred me and introduced me to Ola, who's like my little sister now. And last but not least, we also have Andy Guat. He is Gasi Haiwai, who's also been very vocal, help me. Our team here, we've done lots and lots of projects, right, Victor and Antoni? We've done projects from like floods in Vietnam. We're about to do a project in Vietnam with cleft palate surgery.
Barbara is on the Venetian team as well. So she's locally right now. It's in Dallas, Texas.
Oh, hi, Barbara.
Hi, how are you? Yeah, I just work alongside with assisting with the public relations aspect of everything. So any updates that you may have, I will create for Tony, and he will be able to announce that to the team and kind of facilitate the whole process.
I cannot be more grateful for the team I have here. Without everyone's help, we would not be able to help so many people. So Ola, how about let's go first with you. A little bit about yourself, how this all started, how are you in Poland and stuff like that, okay?
Yeah. So hi everyone, I'm Ola Dinh, and I am Vietnamese, Polish. So I'm a bit of a mix. So my parents used to live in Poland a long time ago. I'm Vietnamese origin, which is why we're all connected here as well through this community. I originally live in London, but because we've spent most of our time in Poland, I also feel very Polish. So when this happened, I don't think any one of us was ready, because we've only heard about war, through books, or we watch history films, or like a lot of us Vietnamese kids, we've heard about it from our parents, our grandparents, our uncles and aunts, and those stories lived in us in a very real way, and we carried that in us and carried that gratitude that we are here alive because they fought through what they were going through for so many years. And so when this happened, I don't think the first minute I heard about it, I was there. It just kind of like images flashed in front of my eyes, and I couldn't believe something like this is happening in 2022. Obviously there's so much conflict still happening in the world, but seeing that happen also so close to my second home, which is Poland, it just felt very real. And in that instant, I just knew, okay, I need to book a flight back home from London. I don't know what I'm gonna do, but I'm going, and let me tell people that I'm going, and if they want to help in any way, if they want to donate things or money, then just do it, and we'll figure it out as we go. Do you want me to continue into when I got there, or do you want me to
Yes.
stop?
Yes, please.
Yes. What you saw and all that. I mean, for me, I have heard some of your stories, and it's very touching, but a lot of people haven't on here. So go ahead and.
Yeah, so once I touched down in Poland, I wasn't even sure where to go or how much, like who, you know, I'm just some kid, right? I'm just a 30-year-old something that doesn't really know, like I've never dealt with this kind of crisis. But I just went to the points where I knew there would be refugees, and I asked around, what do you need? How can we help you? What do you need? How can we help you? And the amount of needs that were coming in was immense. And it was very overwhelming, but it was also seeing the suffering and knowing immediately inside that you need to do something to relieve that suffering. So I started reporting what was happening, and I looked around in our community, in our Vietnamese community and within the Polish community, to see what support is already in place and how we can be part of that. I decided, so the war started on Thursday. On Friday, I decided to fly. On Sunday, I was on the ground. And on Monday, we had already had a truckload of things. And so it began. And then we got connected to you guys, to Chikim and to Victor. And that help from the US has been huge so far. And everybody that's been in the UK, my personal connections in Australia, everyone has been just donating, and that enabled us to get things that are of immediate need. And we've been donated 2 storage spaces, so we were able to do all of our distribution through there.
That's how Ola got started, and how I and our team got started was I reached out to Victor, and I'm like, because he knows everyone, right? Victor, do you know everyone? He's always everywhere. And I'm like, Victor, I really want to do something. Do you know anyone on the ground, that can help us? And he, introduced me to Ola. And I watched all of her stuff, all of her stories, because I'm very particular, when we're dealing with donations and with a lot of people that we're trying to help, we have to be very, very selective. I mean, it's a harsh word to say, but the truth is, like, we have to be very careful. And Ola and her team, they are every day, they have their spreadsheet, what's going in, what's going out. They keep track of, they do daily work on that spreadsheet every single night. Even though they're so tired and they're working on the ground all day long, they will come home at night and make sure that that spreadsheet is updated for all those to see. And so that's what I loved about her. And she was on the go all day long, but through her Instagram, social media, she's very vocal, and she tries to record and post every single day for us to see. Because I mean, for us over here, we don't get to see what's going on live. We just see what's on, the news and stuff like that. Anyone want to go first with questions?
I know that most of our donations through our partners toward the Ukrainian refugee and then the orphanage. So what's percentage of that going toward the orphanage? I mean, of the children of the Ukraine?
Yeah, so actually, Chikim also expressed that a lot of the donations, you guys wanted to help the kids especially, as well as I know there was some help for Ukrainians and children still stuck in Ukraine, as well as the army. So actually, the children, I'd say the donations for the children themselves from your pool, at least 60% goes to children. And that is regardless of whether it is just orphans, just because the percentage of kids incoming is enormous. So just to give you some numbers, right? Just statistics of 3.5 million Ukrainians have fled so far. 6.5 million Ukrainians have been displaced inside the war-torn country itself. And in terms of Poland, it's like every 3 seconds, there's 2 Ukrainians entering. and Poland up till now has taken in 2.1 million Ukrainians, and that's 60% of all the Ukrainians that have fled, and most of them are children. So, you know, every time we go somewhere like a train station or a reception point where people are coming in, there's at least a couple of people that say, here are my kids and here are my friends' kids. Or there are orphanages which we donate to specifically, like the one in Osa that at the beginning when we first started, we just knew there's a bus coming in and there's 700 kids. 5 days later, 1,200 kids. So your money has been so helpful to those children. And yesterday I just posted, and I know Kim saw that message as well, that I was speaking to the coordinator there, and she said, you know, we made scrambled eggs out of 1,700 eggs that had been donated. Those are your eggs, guys. You did that, and those kids haven't had like real fresh food in a while, because it takes days for them to get to where they were, and to have safety and a bed to sleep in, and food that's made for them. So yeah, just wanted to say thank you.
And I just want to input in that all of our funds are still there. She keeps track, and at the end, I will share her spreadsheet with everyone, seeing what's been incoming and what's outcoming. So everyone will be able to share. So it's not just us just saying this. We actually have proof, you know, of what's going in and out.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And all the receipts are there as well.
All the receipts are on the Dropbox.
Everything. Yeah.
Honestly, Ola, I know there's I really want you to tell like one or two of your stories of, like when I heard you tell me the story about the little girl, you know, with the socks, something like that. Yeah, I mean, it's very touching. And because for us over here, we're complaining about gas going up, right? But there's kids over there, they're running for their lives with like no clothes, no, you know what I mean? So Ola, you can, sorry, I'm getting emotional. I watch a lot of videos and stuff.
It's so hard to every day do what we're all doing, right? Is to try and help people that are so in need of just that immediate relief, right? Of that sense of safety and having a chance at survival. So not doing this every day is really hard so that we can keep pushing on and providing the help needed. But there are so many stories out there of kids that need help, of people that need help. I'm so sorry. The story that Kim is referring to, and it's a story that I think will forever be etched onto my soul, is a story of a little girl. She was running with her mom, and she lost a shoe running. I think we don't really think about the little things on a daily basis, because we're very, all of us are privileged, right? Just being able to live in safety is a massive privilege. But this little girl, she was 4 years old. She is 4 years old, and she was running with her mom, and she lost a shoe on the way. And in the middle of winter, her mom somehow found a couple of socks and put 4 socks on her little foot, and by the time she got to the border, that sock was completely torn. But you can imagine, you know, in sub-zero degrees, this child not knowing what's happening, having to run, and on top of it losing a shoe. I think it is so easy to complain about our everyday lives and everything that we have and the comforts, but we forget when we come to see people that are literally fighting for their lives, that even the smallest things like shoes can make an enormous difference. And we have actually, shoes has been one of our biggest requests from people, because people lose shoes all the time while they're running, especially kids. And from your donations, we've bought thousands of shoes, and with the help of the Vietnamese community as well in Poland. So we've brought boxes upon boxes filled with shoes to the orphanage. So you can rest assured that at least the kids that have made it out, at least have some shoes on them, and they can go on being kids, running around, not running away anymore, and they're fed, and they can begin to heal from the PTSD of what it means to lose a home, and many times lose a parent.
So beyond like the physical, like work and the emotional, like it's like heaviness on you and your team, what were some of your other like main challenges in getting like everything together logistically? I don't know. I know that you did run into some issues with technology also, with getting the funds and
Oh my God, 100%. I think I was saying this to my partner. I was like, it's in 3 weeks, we had to figure out something that a normal company or organization would be figuring out over months. But it was the demand for help right now, the need for help is enormous. And there's only a certain amount of things that we have that we can do. So it was figuring out logistics of how to get things inside Ukraine. When there's massive traffic on the border, we don't even know if people are allowed to go in, and when they go in, can they even come out? There was loads of Vietnamese people who I'm sure felt exactly like all of us. We've been there, we've seen the war. Loads of people like that, they wanted to go in, but they were told, if you go in, we just don't know if you're going to come out, or how long it will take you to come out and get another load to be going back in. But yes, the issues with technology you're mentioning, the first couple of days we had blocks with PayPal. So even though people were donating money, you guys were sending over so much money, and we just couldn't use it. And it was so hard. But in that moment, I wasn't even thinking. I was like, whatever, we just need to buy medication. Let's just get medication. We need this food here now. Let's just buy it. It doesn't even matter if it's my own money that I'm spending or whatever. But Kim also had a great solution. She was like, let me just send it to let's avoid PayPal, go straight to the bank account. And so we had to be very nimble and adaptable at every point to be able to deliver stuff. 2 days ago, the 2 warehouses where we were ordering our wholesale product from ran out of everything, because the main things we're getting is dry produce, so things that will last, have a long shelf life, pate and stuff that's in jars, so things that can last for a while. They've run out of everything because every day we're just ordering so much, and other people are also trying to help. So yeah, there was a point where there was no diapers left. And we have so many babies coming in. There was nowhere we could get diapers. And even Pampers itself was saying, we've never seen a shortage like this. And when you hear about numbers like that, I think you just kind of think, oh, wow, I can't believe there was no Pampers. But what's behind that is there's so many children that are in need, that are unprovided for, that, have nobody but us, the people like us that just kind of go out there and roll up their sleeves and do whatever they can.
Oh, wow. And for the children who are coming in, how are they treated and where do they go?
It depends if they come in with parents or if they're orphans. Like in the case of the orphans at the OSA Center, they were brought in through a foundation called Foundation Happy Kids. So they had a contact here in Poland, and that was a bus prepped and ready, buses prepped and ready for them to go. The process was very lengthy because they had to choose routes that were really safe for them to get out. And once they came in here, there's a conference center that had been designated to them, and there's beds in there, so they're all housed in there. And the government basically took over that. There was the army, police, they now have a psychologist there and a doctor, so they're being taken care of by the government from that side. But in terms of the needs, I don't know if you've ever imagined what it's like to feed 1,200 kids, but everything we bring basically goes within, a blink of an eye. And as much as the government's trying to do, I don't think the Polish government was ready for what is happening right now, and the system is completely inundated.
I noticed a lot of family in Poland as well. They personally they get out on their own car, drive their own car, go into the border, pick up any refugee coming over, help them out. But how do they control like who's who to pick up and then what about human trafficking and all that? Is there any police controlling that or?
That is a great question. I think at the beginning, everything was quite chaotic and people would just get into the car with somebody and they didn't need to know because they were running away and they had been walking for, sometimes days at a time. And when they had to abandon their own cars and walk to the border. They passed the border and they just wanted to know they're going somewhere safe. And if someone's standing there with a sign, I'll drive you, it's safe. I don't think at that point a lot of people didn't even think about the safety of what that means. But soon after, there was programs put in place where the reception points at the border would say, okay, please register here when you're coming to pick people up, especially when it came to children and underage minors. So you'd have to register with your driver's license, all your details in there, and you'd have to register who are you picking up and where are they going. And once you arrive to cities where people are staying, they have to go and register anyway for their national insurance number. And that's within the government, they would register where you're staying. So I think it is a great question because the question of human trafficking was a big concern here. And there are definitely people that abuse a moment of terror to do bad things. So that's an additional heartbreaking thing and horrifying thing that people that are running away and fleeing have to deal with on top of everything else.
And do you feel like there's something in particular that perhaps a lot of media outlets are not stressing enough that you think that we should know so we could be more involved and possibly find new ways of helping?
I don't even know where to begin. There's so much we can be doing, but I think being really vocal about what's going on, talking to people in our own circles even, because I know there's a lot of misinformation out there, and I know some people are not even acknowledging that a war is going on. I think that helps people with misinformation and actually knowing that there is something to help with, and then keep on trying to reach out to organizations that are on the ground to keep spreading that help. The biggest needs we have right now that we're unable to fulfill as much as we'd want to is medical goods, specialized meds, things that require prescriptions, and specialized medical equipment that require, big medical organizations to help us get antibiotics, first aid kits, bulletproof vests, and helmets. So I think that's like one of the biggest needs that there is, because the government in Ukraine does not have enough of those. And civilians are fighting. I think there's an astounding number of women that have made it to, outside of Ukraine, left their kids, and then went back to fight. And the government just does not have enough equipment for everyone. So if there is a way where us civilians can somehow get our hands on bulletproof vests or even just the plates that go inside the bulletproof vests or helmets, I think that is frontline help. And then it goes to all the medical goods, and then it goes to food, of course, which we keep sending into Ukraine along with the meds that we are able to get.
Anything from Anandi?
As you know, the situation reminds us a lot of our older generation, which is our dad and our mom and stuff like that, as being, our country, Vietnam back in the day. I really want to know, I mean, it's outside of the whole thing, but is how big is our Vietnamese, population or community exactly in Ukraine? And is there any Vietnamese refugee now in Poland or under your help and stuff like that?
Yeah. There is a very big Vietnamese Ukrainian community, and there's been loads of Vietnamese Ukrainian people coming through. The Vietnamese temples and Vietnamese people have reached out to provide so much help. And just like you guys have, the response had been immediate. It wasn't even a moment to think. They were just like, we're on it. Like, you need 100 kilograms of rice, we've got it. Like, if we say we need blankets, they're like, here's 4,000 blankets, and people are just, it's the most beautiful thing to see. But the Vietnamese community in Ukraine is very large. I don't have the exact numbers, but I know that they keep coming as well. And even just within my own family, people have been taking in loads of people, whether Ukrainians or Vietnamese Ukrainians. So yeah, and it is definitely a significant number.
Well, just hearing that giving me chill, so I mean, the situation is so bad. And my next question is like, now, seeing all of us are obviously, we just get, news from TV and stuff like that, but we want to know from your perspective, who's been there, right in the middle of it, I mean, next to it. What is the situation like, and how's people mentality, and as the war is going to like almost a month now, and how is everything over there, and how is everyone mentalities wise and stuff?
I think one of the things that people that get out do every day is message everyone that they know in Ukraine and ask, are you there? And that's the messages they also receive. I'm still here, I'm still alive. And I think everyone is just waiting for the moment they can be with the people they love, and in safety and in peace. But I think people are worried because it doesn't look like this is ending anytime soon. And there are places in Ukraine where people have been cut off from water for more than 20 days. So on top of it all, it is so hard to survive, right? A human can survive but 7 to 10 days maybe without water. So these people have been without water for 20 days. So anything we can send, we are sending, because it is absolutely needed, yesterday. But I think there's a beautiful spirit in people where they're not giving up. No one is giving up, and they're going to keep fighting, and they keep having hope. And I've not met one Ukrainian person that felt like they had given up on anything. And they're not waiting for charity either. Every place that we've gone to, Ukrainian people have set up help. They're volunteering. They've set up, free shops where they're helping us redistribute things to people. So together fighting this, and even though it is a heartbreaking, very worrying situation where no one knows what's going to come the next day, no one has given up, and I think that's beautiful.
I just want to add something real quick, that I want to remind everyone that they are going through a war, but COVID is still running rampant through the city. Like, I've talked to Ola, and they're in tight quarters. Most of them are not vaccinated, and on top of that, they're in like freezing degree weather as well. So they're going through a war. The temperature is crazy, and there's COVID. So I just want to remind everyone that it's not just a war that they are actually facing day to day.
Yeah, and to add to that, Kim, there was also in the same place where there was a COVID outbreak that we talked about last time. So there was 500 people there. They had a COVID outbreak, and on top of it, there was a measles outbreak. So there's just so many things that people are fighting at the same time. So whatever relief we can bring them, it is so crucial that we do it.
To wrap it up, I mean, from my side, I would continue to raise awareness, and also encourage anyone that we still taking donation to help other Ukrainian refugee. And I know there will be more coming in, maybe after viewing this video of interviewing with Ola Dinh, so that I would encourage more people to come out and just help out, because everyone's is needing supply, medical, everything's over there, and anything would help out, even if it's just a small amount of donation like that would go a long way. Okay. And then to me, personally, with my team, I want to thank you, Ola Dinh and Victor, for setting up everything and helping out, and then on the front line and right there at the border with everybody.
So we have a little bit less than 5 minutes left. I do have, I guess I'll do the wrap up question with Ola. Just like moving forward, we've been doing a lot of, immediate relief for a lot of these refugees, but like you said, there's millions of people who are leaving Ukraine. In the long term, how can we help them reestablish their lives? Whether it's, are they going to be going back to Ukraine, are they going to be staying in Poland or moving on to other countries in Europe? But I've talked with you before, a lot of these people are educated, or they had, like good jobs back in Ukraine, and now they're trying to find jobs as dishwashers or cleaning up as janitors. And it really reminds me of how like our grandparents or our parents had to deal with this when they first came to the US or to Europe from Vietnam. And we don't want that to repeat, right? So how can we help in the long term with rebuilding their lives, not just with like, the medications and stuff that they need immediately at the moment?
Yeah, thank you so much for bringing that up. And just like you, I also, it's something very close to my heart, because exactly what you mentioned, right? That's what our grandparents and our parents went through. We're working on a few different topics. Just me personally with a couple of different friends that are really involved, and we're trying to figure out how we can make getting jobs easier, how we can help give people independence faster. How we can support them with the Polish government to be able to get out there and get a job. What does that mean? Does it mean people need laptops? Does it mean people need help with getting the first flat? What is it? Like, what are the next logistical things that we can solve from this immediate relief to then giving people a chance to get their independence back and building back a life? So yeah, there's a million things, a million questions, and a million different things that we could all be doing. And I'd love to have another chat with all of you to be able to dig into that, and also to, get feedback from you and hear your thoughts and ideas, because I think once the community gets activated, right, and mobilized, and we put all of our heads together, I think we can come up with a plan that is both sustainable and can actually give back to people what exactly they need, so that they can have that jumping off point. Because yeah, I think the first thing that we needed to do here was to make sure people are safe and can survive. But the question is, once all those millions of people come in, what can we provide to them so that they can have independence?
Thank you, Ola. Does anybody else have any questions or any comments to make before we wrap up?
Probably will just add something, if that's okay.
Yes.
I really appreciate everyone donating thus far. And I know that sometimes you think, okay, I'm donating and that's it, I'm done. But honestly, there's just so many people out there. We've barely begun to scratch the surface. We've barely begun to, to provide what is really, really needed. And any cent, any penny, anything that comes in goes such a long way in Poland. In the UK, you spend £120, which is like $150, and you maybe come out with 2 bags of groceries. In Poland, that's 2 carts, right? 2 carts that can feed about 24 to 30 people. And maybe it's not 150 that you have, but you have just $3. $3 is already 2 blankets we can buy. So all those little bits, they really add up, and they might mean, a pair of shoes for a little girl, or there's just so many ways that we can stretch those dollars to provide the help that's badly needed.
All right. Thank you very much, Ola, for joining us today. Thank you for all your help on the ground.
Yeah, and
anybody else?
Please keep up the good work, and hopefully the we over here we would do what we can to keep help raising any donation, like you say, any penny, any dollars count. But please send my thanks and love to your whole team, for all of you guys being there, helping us, doing this and being there, firsthand with them. And appreciate all the hard work that you guys doing.
Thank you so much.
Just want to say another thing, that we will probably go onto another Zoom, in a couple of weeks, just to update and see
Yeah.
what's all been going on and what you've been up to, and if there's any new news or how we can help further.
Great. Thank you so much.